Indulge in Blum's luxurious Lotus flower rolls. The green Lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue Lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Plus, for a limited time, use promo code MUHoliday24 and save $50 off your subscription. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now.
Rosen, heroes. Gonna tell you about Rosen, heroes. Gonna tell you about comic books, costumes, facts, boots, and other stuff.
In this week's issue, World's Finest Wednesday.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the merry man himself, Mr. Mike.
Hello, I didn't see you there.
A happy holidays to you and
Happy holiday to you too.
yours. This is coming out on Christmas Day, so if you're with your loved ones celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas to you, or whatever your holiday festivity celebration of choice is. Enjoy it by listening to us.
I have a lovely Festivus pole up at my house.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Very nice. I have a menorah and a Hanukkah candle up in the window. I have a small Christmas tree, but a large chimney, if you know what I mean. And then
no, please, can you?
It's just a big hearth. Yeah.
Okay.
Big old chimney.
I'm following now. Okay.
And then I have various other holiday paraphernalia around the house because it is the holiday season.
It is.
It's not just a
Andy
day.
Williams told me that at one point in time.
It's the holiday season.
Yeah. Last day you get to listen to that for another year.
Oh, whoop-dee. It's one of the only songs in the world that has the words whoop-de-doo in it.
And I don't mind it.
Whoop-de-doo.
I don't mind it. I like it as a song.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad song. It's much better than that Mariah Carey thing that is forced upon us every year.
Oh, yeah. No, we had
It's a fine song. It's a fine song. Don't get me wrong.
No, my least favorite one is Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
Simply how.
Yeah, that is my least favorite Christmas song. That and Last Christmas by Wham. I do not like.
You don't like the Wham one, huh?
No.
Wham Bam, thank you.
I'd rather listen to that gift wrapping song, the Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's the waitresses, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what we found out?
Yeah, gift wrap. Yeah.
The waitresses, the same ones who did I Know What Boys Like, I Know What Guys Want. Yeah,
that is the same band.
Yeah. I know what boys like. I know what guys want.
They
want Christmas.
And that's what we're going to give to you. Well, it's not really a Christmas themed.
Sure.
We are focusing on, we kind of started this a couple weeks ago, where on our World's Finest Wednesdays, we're focusing on stuff Silver Age. And the Silver Age is also kind of the birth of the Marvel Comics era as well. So intersprinkled in with all these Silver Age DC stories.
Birth of our Lord and Savior Spider-Man.
We are throwing in some Marvel Silver Age in this too, because that is what World's Finest Wednesday was a place for us to focus on some of the fun, silly, older stuff and just kind of look at origins and things like that. We tackled Thor's origin with the Saturn men, the rock men from Saturn, and he was Dr. Donald Blake, which
and that's really stupid.
Mike hated.
Yeah, I did not like that at all.
We're going to.
This crippled guy is now the god of thunder.
Well,
okay.
Only when he taps the stick once, 3 times to control the wet. I don't know. It was he worked it all out. He knew what he was doing.
We got it all worked out eventually.
And nobody expected that it was him. Mike.
Thor became the man we know
today. I was going to do a Justice League story here that was going to be who murdered Santa Claus, because I mean, what's better than a Santa Claus murder on Christmas?
Sure.
But I started
Kids
reading the issue, and honestly, it was boring.
You said it was pretty boring.
And I mean, I'll be honest, maybe the last 6 pages really kick up, but the 14 that I read through, I was just kind of like, man, I don't know how I'm going to keep Mike's attention through all this.
Yeah, you'd have a tough time probably.
Was
it in color?
It was in color. It was 1974. I will say though, I forget what I was going to add to it. It just wasn't. Yeah. So
it wasn't any good.
Yeah. So instead for Christmas, we're going to give you something that I think I told you we'd have for you last week and we didn't. So we're giving it to you now, but it still counts. That is the Origin. We're going to have another Marvel Origin. And this time, Mike,
enjoy your Christmas. Why don't you?
And enjoy it with us as we take a look at the very first appearance of the X-Men, which is one of Marvel's seminal groups here. And to be able to do that, give me 1 second as I fire up our handy little Marvel Unlimited app here on the desktop.
That's what I was just looking at too, Zach. Look, it's Marvel Unlimited. I can get to all the Marvel comics ever made. With all the Marvel comics in my handy dandy app. Look, here they go.
So Mike should be able to follow along with us.
I should be able to. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I really should be able to.
You can go ahead. I did in looking at the X-Men. You want to start with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. You can do that as we are here with issue 1. Or even if you want to be like, hey, I want to start from 91 when Chris Claremont and Jim Lee kind of
messed it up.
Volume 2. They didn't mess.
Oh, sorry.
The art. I love. That's me. That's the X-Men I got into because it makes me think of the cartoon and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm saying it's all there at one easy to use place. And so that is where we're going to dive in here for X-Men #1. And I just love the art. I think this is a facsimile edition they put up there because that's the copyright of 2009 down at the bottom. But
the big dirty feet.
The big for Beast, because that's who that is there.
You got the big dirty feet.
One thing that is of note, I feel like this is from September of 62, I believe, or 63. Now I have my years mixed up.
12 cents.
62, right? 63. Man.
Sure.
I don't want to X out a full screen because I don't have to redo the whole thing in the bar. So
no, you're good. So we got
the original 4 here.
We got the Iceman.
Mm-hmm. Cyclops, Beast,
Hawk,
Angel,
or
Archangel,
Archangel, and then Sally,
Miss Marvel.
Oh, Miss Marvel. That's what
Marvel. I think that's what they call her. We'll see when we get to it. That's Jean Grey, though.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the very first villain from the beginning,
so she becomes Phoenix, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then she becomes Dark Phoenix.
Yes. Well, it's the Dark Phoenix. So, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Okay.
But Magneto is the villain from the very beginning, and he still has that I've always liked the red and purple together.
I think the red and purple is very menacing.
Really good.
Honestly. Yeah.
And the helmet, like it's always a spooky looking helmet.
You know, he is Earth's most powerful supervillain. I only know that because it said it right there.
Oh, because it does say that. Yes.
Oh, look at old Doctor Strange there, or not Doctor Strange. What's his name?
Professor X.
Professor X, same thing. Look at him sitting in a chair.
Yeah, not a wheelchair.
That's weird.
Just a regular chair. But
is Iceman pole dancing for him?
No, I think he's just like spinning down, like he's making a joke, like it's him down a fire pole.
So he's made a pole,
yeah,
and he's spinning around it,
yeah,
but he's not pole spinning.
I mean, I guess technically is pole spinning.
Yeah, he's got ice dollars in his waistband.
What happens is Professor X, as we're introduced, is showing us all of his X-Men, but he's communicating to them all just through telepathic thought. Right?
I hate how Beast has no shoes, but Iceman does. That's so weird.
That's the thing that's throwing you off.
Yeah, that throws me the hell off. Look at that.
It is.
Why is the ice guy got shoes? He just looks like he's naked.
Well, there is a part, except for shoes.
Yes.
There's a part later where they have to suit up, and he's like, I get to suit up quicker than you guys because all I have to do is put on boots. But, and then part of me is like,
does he wear
what happened to the shoes that you were wearing before?
Does he wear boots?
I mean, he's wearing, you see him right,
but I'm thinking that's because he can't touch the regular ground or something.
Like once it's
because
in snow
of
form?
his ice skater.
It's not addressed.
Ability.
It's not addressed or brought up in issue 1. I can tell you that.
Okay. All right. I don't want to get too deep into this whole shoe conspiracy here.
Yeah. But there's still very much, to me, reading this, there was like a Fantastic Four feel to it in a way of like, it's a group of these four individuals that like have the problems with one another. Like they pick at one another. They, you know, they like to, they kind of get in little scuffles, not like big fights, but, you know, like they're constantly at one another kind of thing.
So I know
we see that with Iceman and Beast.
People are not going to like when I ask this question, but is this before or after Fantastic Four?
This is after. Okay. Fantastic Four is the beginning.
So they came across a formula and they replicated it here to begin with.
In a sense,
and then it became its own thing.
Yes,
but I'm
totally,
just saying,
of course, of where it's like dysfunctional families. I mean, they're not aren't really families, but I think that you have that at least with a lot. Not to say there aren't differences, but at the root of it.
How many other naked characters can you name who only wear boots?
Well, it's funny. There's another one in X-Men, Mystique. Remember, she has that skin.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, but she's good looking. So Iceman's just.
You don't know that. All you've seen him is in his Frosty.
I can see him right there.
So it goes
I can see all of him right there, except for his feet.
There is part of this that will fit into Christmas when we get there.
Okay.
Anyway, Professor
you throw snowballs at him?
No, well, that's even better. Professor X is like just communicating them all through thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he's helping them kind of.
Right?
It is, but it's just showcasing the power that he has.
Yeah, the telekinesis.
As then they're like, all right, it's time for training. And this is very much kind of like the Danger Room situation of where they have this machine here.
I always liked that Danger Room. I always thought that was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, he only communicates through them telepathically because they're working on creating like this link between the two that they can communicate then like out on the battlefield.
No, kind of like Elon.
Sure.
He's got the Neuralink.
Yeah, it's
same thing.
But it actually works and they're doing good things out there.
Oh, okay.
So, but Beast is like trying to remain nimble and like, you know, bounce off the walls to avoid like being hit by these you know, bullets and stuff, and also like being able to like balance on one finger and land appropriately. And then like Angel goes through and he has to like fly through stuff and, you know, make sure not to get hit by like the fire that's there, this giant spinning contraption.
He almost got clacked.
He does. And then there's a point where like Professor X like sends like this loud like alarm sound to like throw him off. Oh, I'll wait until they're there. And he has to like reassess and kind of regroup himself from that. Exactly. And like escape and fix that situation. Professor
X,
the
thing in Google Maps where you have to hit the little thing
and
to
it takes you back to
yourself.
The center.
Yeah.
And Professor X tells him like, you got too cocky. You need to make sure that you always keep a view of what's going on around you. Like that's the lesson, is you can't be too sure of everything that's going on.
That's a little Icarus like, isn't it?
Kind of. He flew too close to the sun, or in this one to the supersonic sound thing.
I like that.
Professor X says, all right, we're going to take like a 5-minute break then for everybody to go out and do what they want to.
Well, that is the thing about Kirby. He did go back to that well a lot. Like the
and drawing stuff. Yes.
Well, I'm talking about like the Icarus thing and the this and that. You know, he was a big believer in all that stuff.
Yes, he loved mythology. He loved like you can see that a lot in all of his Thor stuff, which is kind of around this time we're getting into when they would do the secondary Asgard stories in the back of Strange Tales.
Can't wait until Iceman taps his cane.
So Professor X is like, all right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here before we resume training.
Sure.
And he uses that to try to throw Iceman off, and tells him, he communicates with Beast telepathically and tells him, hey, now throw that giant ball at him when he least expects it. Because Iceman is just playing around. He's like, oh, I found some buttons and a lemon peel and a carrot. And he turns himself into a snowman. And he's like, look at me, I'm a snowman. Yeah. And about that time, Beast throws the giant bowling ball at him, to which Iceman creates like an ice kind of like, I don't know what you would call it.
What kind of place are they running where there's just lemon peels and buttons laying around and a carrot?
This is the Xavier School for Mutants, or what? I can't remember the name of it right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of shit just laying around.
Yeah.
Put this on your face.
Or maybe he just stole it. Like, he has to have grabbed like the carrot and stuff out of the trash. Anyway, they all go through training. Cyclops is supposed to like decapacitate, just be able to like stop Beast from attacking. So he like uses
de-escalate, attacking.
Decapacitate. No, decapacitate. Incapacitate.
Yeah.
So he kind of like shoots him into the wall. Iceman tries to hold up his make a block of ice around him to stop from getting it, and Cyclops gets through it pretty easy. And then, all right, they stop, they start fighting one another, and Professor X stops him and says, you guys have to, go and kind of, we must stop training right now. Something more important has come up. Our new pupil has arrived. Here he goes.
So Iceman in the beginning didn't have a face?
Not yet. He will. He's going to change.
Okay.
But in that version, no, he's just like a giant ice thing.
Okay.
Professor X says, you may be interested to learn that at this very moment, I sense a taxi approaching our main gate. Within that vehicle is a new pupil, a most attractive young lady. Guys, hear me out. I got a fox coming to the school. Y'all are welcome. That's essentially what he's saying. I know it's a bunch of 4 dudes here, and we're just going to throw a gal in here. Nothing could go wrong whatsoever. We're introduced to Jean Grey. The X-Men leave to go spruce up.
Put on suits.
Yeah, to go change out of their X-Men suits to their actual suits.
Let me go put on my green plaid pants.
Well, here's what's funny. So they actually introduce themselves. So it's like, oh, hey, there's Hank McCoy, also known as the Beast. That's the guy in the blue suit and the dark hair. Then, as you can see, Bobby Drake, nicknamed Iceman. That's who's in the red shirt there. So he does have an actual human face, but not as Iceman. There is, I'm saving one till the end because it's of note. There's Warren Worthington III, who is the tall guy in the blue suit, also known as the Angel.
Say that name one more time.
Warren Worthington III.
Okay.
Angel.
Yeah.
And then also in green there with the sunglasses, that's Cyclops. You know what Cyclops' real name is, Mike?
Mike Hunt.
Not commenting on that. Scott Summers is what he usually goes by.
Scott Summers.
Yeah, Scott Summers. Not here. No, his name is Slim Summers.
Slim Summers.
Apparently, for the first couple issues, he goes by Slim, and they realize, Scott sounds better.
That's where it's
Slim Summers is not a good name for the captain of your X-Men team.
At the beginning and the end of summer. It's a Slim
Summer. I'm sorry, Marvel Girl is what he calls her, not Miss Marvel.
By the way, just real
Miss
quick.
Jean Grey.
Real quick.
Marvel
you look
Girl.
down at the bottom panel there.
The number 8. This is page 8.
Professor X is in a chair.
He's in a wheelchair now.
He's got his little quilt.
Yeah.
And is that an oscillating fan right next to him?
That's the wheel for the wheelchair.
Okay. All right. So now he's in a wheelchair. Okay, I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it. It looks like an oscillating fan.
No.
Like you said, boy, it gets a little stuffy in here.
I love how you just went from praising Jack Kirby to calling out his will. Oh man. Anyway.
Oh man, all this stuff's cool.
No,
I
it
mean,
is. I know.
You gotta think back to these days. I mean,
well, here's the thing.
It's so well.
I don't know if we talked about it. I had the thought the other day rereading through because I went out and found. It's hard to find physical copies of old Fantastic Four stuff anywhere, even like the reprints. So I was able to find like an old copy of the Marvel Masterworks that collects like the first 10 issues. It's reprints, so they came up with the early 2000s.
Right.
But just like reading through that, and I enjoy it. It's not like a lot of people have a hard time getting through it now, and I'm sure, but like it's a snapshot of like that moment in time in the comics world and stuff, and I enjoy that. But you can read these and also think that they weren't thinking of, these stories are going to be read 62 years or 65 years later.
No.
And
they didn't think this was a lasting thing.
So I mean, you can't fault them on some of the stuff.
No, not at all.
We find out
it does get stuffy in there. I mean, you might need an oscillating fan.
That is true. Marvel Girl or Jean Grey shows off her powers, which is the right now it's just the what is it, telekinesis when you can move stuff with your mind. Yep. That's what she has right now. She reads a book. She pulls a chair up for herself.
Feet.
She throws Beast up into the air when he tries to be creepy and like rub his finger against her cheek.
Yeah, that's not great.
And he's like, let me be the first to welcome you to the X-Men, beautiful.
No.
Yeah,
no.
You don't do that. And so, well, she spins him around before she throws him up in the air. And I do love the way that's just the whirlwind. Like you see his outline, but then like a whirlwind around him there as he's being drawn.
Is Beast the one that turns into the big blue guy?
Yeah, eventually he'll be big and blue. Okay. He's not there yet.
All right. Okay.
We're then introduced to Magneto.
Fucking Magneto. He's always looked the same.
And he always looks I do love how the shadows around the eyes, like it just makes him look more menacing.
And Dr. X looks like the Watcher.
Professor X?
Whatever.
He's not a doctor, he's a professor.
PhD.
Is it a doctorate
PhD
still?
X.
That's true. So we find out that Magneto is using his magnetic powers to ruin all of our missile launches.
Yeah, he'll do that.
And they can't figure out what's wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to decide he wants to take over the base that they're hosting all these. Cape Citadel is, I think, where it's happening.
Sure.
So he shows up
Where the
and
guy in the NASA hat.
he shows up and yeah,
just a guy in a NASA hat.
Well, that's how you know it's a missile launch. It's official. NASA was there.
Yeah.
The guard station there at Cape Citadel, like they notice their guns like malfunction on them, and it's like turned against them and shooting towards them and stuff. Tanks are suddenly like moved around and like thrown asunder, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Magneto, that's his deal, right? Is magnetism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
It's used to do a little bit more here, and we'll kind of explain a little bit on stuff. He like uses all the dust particles in the air to send a message.
Yeah.
And it says, "Surrender the base or I'll take it by force." Magneto.
Signed Magneto.
Here's what I love too. All in caps or all in print.
Fonts.
Yeah, and then he signs it in cursive. He signs his name in cursive was one of my favorite parts. Like,
that's sweet of him.
It is.
Yeah.
Sincerely, Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
And
love you.
I love how the soldiers like, Magneto. What is Magneto? They're like,
well, no, that's a good point.
Solid
right there. Yeah, because nobody knows who the hell any of these people are.
Yeah. And somebody's like, "What does this mean? Is this like a prank?" And he's like, "No, you saw what the machine guns did. It's not a prank. We just,
just some sweet guy named Magneto."
Yeah. It's really nice that he signs his letters.
XO.
Magneto realizes like, all right, I got to do more than like I have him scared a little bit. So he like sends his power. He directs his magnetic impulses into this energizer that's down there in the corner to increase his power and leave them helpless. He always likes to call the helpless Homo sapiens because Magneto is I think it's Homo sapiens and he's Homo superior. Is how he views himself. Like, I'm a mutant. Means I'm better than all these other people.
I just glanced at that and I thought he was writing a check. That's what it looked like. Why is Magneto writing a check to the army?
Well, here's the thing. That's why it's signed like that. He thought he had already turned off the dust
I'm talking about down in the bottom corner.
Yeah, with the
little rays that are coming out of his face. It looks like he's writing a check.
Magneto then like sends off he causes missiles to shoot off randomly.
Yeah.
Out sending them out towards like unmanned boats.
North Korea, who needs
in the sea. Like, he's not like shooting anything that'll kill anybody, but he's also like showing just what he can do.
Sure.
He shows up to the base and he's like, "All right, I'm here. Like, let me in." And the guy's like, "Hold on, come on. What is this? Like a masquerade party? Get out of here." And he's like, "Well, I did love this part about Magneto. I remember I covered this, that some of the villains have been just awesome from their very first appearance and something that they do. Magneto is going to be one of these here with this. We covered the first time the Joker appeared in a Batman story.
Yeah.
And remember, he has a line in there when he's like, "You always have to think when you play against the Joker, you're being dealt from the bottom of the deck." And it was a really good line of like, okay, Joker's been cool from the beginning. Magneto is kind of like that here, where the guard shows up. He's like, "Hold on, Mac. If you're looking for a masquerade party, you've come to the wrong place. Beat it." And Magneto goes, "Well said, guard. What a pity you have no power to back up such impressive words. Your puny weapons cannot stop me." And he's like, "Oh, yeah? You can't. What about this one little burst right over your head? I'm sure that'll change your mind." And he like goes to shoot and he can't. And he's like, it's like the trigger's locked in place. And the other one's like, "I can't even lift my gun. It's like, it feels like it weighs a ton." And Magneto goes, "Now I'll merely just alter," like he is explaining to him, "I'm merely altering my waves. So nothing you can do will touch me." So it's just like, he's like, "Oh, yeah, ha, ha, ha. That's a funny joke. Too bad you can't do shit about me." And then just keeps walking by him. So.
Magneto, when done well, is a badass.
Fantastic.
He really is a badass.
So he then like dispels all the guards away from him. He uses the magnetic energy to kind of like bind them all together where they can't get to him. And he takes the base for himself. Now we cut back to the X-Men, who Jean Grey, now as Marvel Girl, got her very flattering X-Men suit. You want to know how flattering it is, Mike? She says, "Whoever designed this uniform could have given Christian Dior a run for his money."
Okay.
That's how you know it's stylish.
Whoever designed Iceman's shoes knew what they were doing.
Yeah, that's where it's down there. He's like, I get ready faster than the rest of you. All I got to do is put on my boots."
You had them on, you idiot.
Well, no, he's wearing loafers. See, look at the picture above.
Well, yeah,
he's got to change from his loafers to his boots.
Yeah, okay.
Because you can't fight crime in loafers.
No, you can't. Gotta go shoot some ice out of your ass or whatever.
We do find that Angel has to wear like he has his angel wings like binded behind him the whole time while he wears his suit, which is kind of the X-Men go here. Okay, here's what I love.
Well, that makes sense though.
It does.
That he
like,
has to bind.
That's
his
what I'm saying.
wings
That's
like
gotta suck.
Yeah.
Here's what I love though, because there's this whole point about how he binds them all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, now that's more like it. Now I'm able to feel myself again. Now the angel is ready to spread his wings and fly. That's what he says in the top panel, right, Mike? The very next panel. But the time has not yet come for the angel to fly. Instead, the bear
they get a car.
So can you imagine? Like, to me, that's just like a beat in a movie where he's like lacing up, just getting everything ready. And he's like, it's time for the angel to fly. And he pops the glove and then just cuts to them all just sitting all smushed into a car.
I like his giant Santa pants.
He does have those. It's funny too, because while they're driving, I don't know who it is. I assume that it's Iceman just by the speech bubble, but it says, boy, it must have taken a heap of green stamps to buy a chariot like this. And Professor X goes, no joking, please concentrate on your mission, review your powers. He's like, we don't have time to talk how much it costs. Review on what we're doing.
Do you remember green stamps?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dollars?
S&H green stamps.
H&R Puff and stuff?
S&H green stamps.
That's not H&R. It's H&R Block.
Were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I went to buy or not me, but whenever my parents would go buy groceries at the Piggly Wiggly, you'd get so many S&H green stamps for buying your groceries there.
Okay.
You put those into a little book.
Yeah.
And then once you get the book filled up, you could go to the S&H green stamp store and trade it
and get
in
a car
products.
Oh,
never saw it. Now on Valley Mills Drive here in Waco, Texas.
It's like HEB Buddy Bucks.
It's exactly, but for adults, and you had to get them all, and you could get something with it. Whereas HEB Buddy Bucks, I've never seen anybody get anything but more bucks. But like this was, like my grandmother would take me to this store and we'd pick out a clock, or she'd get a new mantle piece or something, stuff like that. Like it was a lot of like everyday gadgets and like home interiors type stuff. Yeah. Anyway, it was a whole store. You go in there and you go, I got 4 books of stamps. What can I get for that?
There you go. That's green stamps.
Well, here's a circumcision.
I'm not buying that.
They wouldn't do that. But.
So the X-Men show up to help the army try to take the base back from Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclops is able to
there goes old Iceman running in his boots
to tell after he turns his power dampener on his vision all the way up to max power, he's able to break through Magneto's rays, and the X-Men come in. Well,
why would his power ever be turned down?
I don't, because he was using it earlier during testing. Remember,
okay.
Incapacitate.
Okay. That makes sense.
Thank you. Magneto fires like 5 missiles at once to try to to give them all something to chase instead
They're all
of him.
different too.
They are. Iceman and Angel are able to, using ice grenades from Iceman, take care of all the missiles.
Those are ice balls.
Beast, sure. Yeah. Beast handles one and throws it into the water. Angel's going to try to stop Magneto. And Magneto shows him like, this is how easily I can stop you. And he just finds all this junk and just like throws it together on Angel.
See, I think that's cool though.
It is. No, for sure. But Cyclops is able to kind of blast the junk away.
Mm-hmm.
And so Magneto thinks, all right, one last thing I can do to get rid of them is there's this giant container full of rocket fuel that I'll set on fire and like push towards them. And so that's what he does. He's like, not all those mutants with power were fit to rule Earth like I am. You must be destroyed. And he pushes it towards them. And Iceman tries to cover them in ice as it gets close to hitting them. And there's a massive explosion. And Magneto thinks to himself, now with them out of the way, nothing is remaining to interfere with the master plan of the miraculous Magneto. But
he's wrong.
As the flame is too hot for him to go check, but all of a sudden he sees an energy beam blast up through the rubble. And Cyclops has helped them kind of burrow their way out, and they're attacking Magneto, and they go to stop him, but Magneto flees because he's like, nope, not right now. Like, I'll deal with you guys later. He's like, you haven't defeated me yet, and I can still escape. And so he uses his power to get away. And by the time the X-Men are able to like chase after him, he's already long gone.
Sure.
The X-Men make friends with the military there then.
Hello, General.
Yeah, and he's like, you call yourselves the X-Men, and I will not ask you to reveal your true identities.
Oh, thanks.
But I promise you that before this day is over, the name X-Men will be the most honored in my command. Which is weird because later on, everybody goes to
that's what I'm saying.
They really hate the X-Men.
They hate them, yeah.
But at first they really liked him. So
And then Professor X's head floats in the clouds.
it does. Oh, because the plane, we didn't talk about that. We were talking about the green stamps, and I forgot
X-plane?
to. So the plane, minutes later, in the Professor X or in the Professor's remote controlled private jet, the X-Men and Marvel Girl, because she's not one of us, are winging towards Cape Citadel. I'm kidding. It doesn't say that. At nearly the speed of sound. And that's where he said, you mean the Professor is guiding this plane from the ground by thought impulses? It's unbelievable. So Professor X was just flying the plane from the ground. He's not even on
What's
it.
in the plane?
All the X-Men. He puts them on the plane.
Oh, he puts them in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was thrown by the car and then the plane.
And he just flies them there.
Okay. Sure.
So that's where it ends.
Why didn't Angel just fly them all there?
All the other 4 of them?
Yeah. It was back.
Issue 2, the Vanisher appears.
1963. Yeah.
Yep, 1963 instead of 60
dose.
60 dose.
60 dose.
So there you go. That was
Magneto.
the origin of the X-Men.
I like a good Magneto.
Magneto was always awesome, I think.
Magneto, I love the fact that Magneto can grab anything metal and make a weapon out of it, basically. I think that's kind of
cool. I also liked how
I've
always liked how he's able to use like the fields to kind of like as barriers to keep stuff away from him or to bring stuff closer. It's just like anything within him, just to like, you know.
He's like a human MRI machine.
Kind of. So there you go. That is the origin of the X-Men. Next week we will cover, I don't know what we're going to do for World's Finest Wednesday. Probably not going to do Marvel. I like to do a little breaks in between. So we'll probably do something, actually another World's Finest, and get back to some of the crazy, ridiculous Batman and Superman stories.
That sounds good.
Well, it'd be to start the first of the year. This is your Christmas episode. So the next one would be your New Year's Day episode.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's anything, what do you associate with New Year's Day? Let's plan this out real quick.
That creepy little baby.
Anything else? I'm trying to think what they would have done comics about. I'm sure there's probably
I would imagine there's a Spider-Man story out there somewhere where Spider-Man saves New Year's Eve somehow.
I'll see if we can find something.
Some kid is crying because his New Year's is ruined or something. All he wanted to do was meet Dick Clark, and he couldn't do it, and so Spider-Man saves him and brings Dick Clark to his house or something.
Well, no, he introduces him to the Dave Clark 5, and he's like, "Oh, instead of one Clark, I brought you 5 Clarks."
He goes, "But this is not what I wanted at all, Spider-Man. You suck."
Wah 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 wah. Oh, and then Spidey goes, "Happy New Year," and that's how it ends.
Poor old Spidey. It's a living. Yeah, and then it moves on.
And then there's a Hostess Pies ad after.
That's it. That's it. That kid shows up.
Oh man! All right, I'll find something New Year's related.
Hostess Pies. Thanks, Spidey.
Oh man,
he says it like that too.
It's weird.
Hostess Pies.
I do not like that one bit. All right, well, thank you guys as always for joining us. That was our World's Finest Wednesday, our Christmas edition. Hope everybody is enjoying their Christmas or whenever you come back to listen to
holiday.
This. Thank you guys as always for taking the time out to listen. Make sure to also check out the Rogue Media Network family of podcasts.
Ho, 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 roguemedianetwork.com.
There's a lot of other great podcasts out there to choose from. Thank you as always for taking the time out to listen to us.
Hey, do me a favor, everybody. Go out and listen to Hellhound Country.
Yes.
It's a series that we just put out. Anyway, go listen to
audio fiction.
Audio fiction. Yeah. Little creepy, little
the
weird.
Whole
yeah, very good.
Soundscape, everything.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Should. It's good. I enjoy listening to stuff like that, and it's worth your time. So you should go check it out too.
Thanks, Zach.
No problem.
I'll save your New Year's for you.
Oh, thanks. Well, we'll see if we can do that next
week.
You
got a baby. Why don't you dress it up like New Year's baby?
I mean, isn't that he
Put
kind of already?
You got to have a top hat and a sash.
I just got to find a sash and a
top hat and a sash. Yep, that's it.
All right, we'll see if Jack.
I'm not doing for that. I'm not doing a baseball cap and a napkin.
All right, that does it for us. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Bye, guys. Galicon.
Rosen, heroes. Gonna tell you about Rosen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.